The M1 Abrams. For more than 40 years, this armored giant has defined American military power. Born in the Cold War, tested in the sands of the Middle East, and feared on battlefields across the globe, the Abrams has earned a reputation as the world's indestructible tank. But how did it come to be? Today, we uncover how the Abrams was conceived, the innovations that made it unique, the battles that forged its reputation, and why it still rolls forward into the 21st century. The origins of the Abrams reach back to the 1960s. The United States and NATO faced an uncomfortable truth. The Soviet Union was fielding new tanks in staggering numbers. The T-62 and T-72, armed with 115mm and 125mm guns, threatened to outgun NATO's existing armor. At the same time, America's mainstay, the M60 pattern, was showing its age. Protection was limited, mobility was modest, and in a duel with massed Soviet armor, its prospects looked grim. A joint American-German effort, the MBT-70 project, was meant to deliver the next generation of NATO tanks. But the program collapsed under spiraling costs and over complex design. Out of that failure, the Pentagon launched the XM1 project. Its mission: create a tank that could survive against the warfare attack. In 1976, Chrysler Defense and General Motors were awarded contracts to build prototypes. After years of competition, Chrysler's design was chosen. It would carry the name M1 Abrams, honoring General Creighton Abrams, former Army Chief of Staff and a veteran of Vietnam. From the outset, the Abrams was a leap forward. Its most controversial feature was the AGT 1500 gas turbine engine. Unlike diesel engines, the turbine provided enormous acceleration and smoother operation. Crews could hear enemy tanks long before the Abrams was audible, earning it the chilling nickname, the Whispering Death. Yet it came at a cost. Fuel consumption was enormous, a logistical burden that haunts the design to this day. Then came the armor. The Abrams was built around Chobham composite armor, developed in Britain. Layers of ceramics, steel, and other materials created a defense far superior to traditional rolled steel. Later variants incorporated depleted uranium mesh, giving the Abrams near immunity to most Soviet anti-tank rounds. Firepower was equally formidable. The early M1 carried a 105mm rifled cannon, but by the mid-1980s this was replaced with the M256 120mm smoothbore gun, licensed from Germany's Rheinmetall design. This weapon could fire advanced armor-piercing sabot rounds at hypersonic speeds, or high-explosive anti-tank shells for softer targets. Perhaps the most overlooked innovation was the focus on crew survivability. Ammunition was stored in sealed compartments with blowout panels. In most tanks, a penetrating hit meant instant death for the crew. In the Abrams, the energy was vented upward, dramatically improving chances of survival. All of this came together in a vehicle weighing nearly 70 tons, heavy, expensive, but unmatched in its ability to protect its crew while destroying the enemy. The Abrams entered service in 1980. Training exercises in West Germany soon proved its worth. Crews reported astonishing mobility for such a heavy vehicle, able to accelerate and pivot faster than NATO's Leopard or older patterns. The turbine engine gave it speed, but it also guzzled fuel at nearly 4 gallons per mile. Logistics officers fretted about keeping it supplied during high-intensity warfare. Yet despite this, the Abrams proved mechanically reliable, and its armor gave crews immense confidence. By the late 1980s, the M1 had been upgraded to the M1A1 variant, carrying the new 120mm gun and improved armor. NATO commanders believed they finally had a tank that could stand toe-to-toe with Soviet T-72s and T-80. But the true test would not come in Europe. It would come in the deserts of the Middle East. In 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, the Abrams faced its baptism of fire. Iraqi forces fielded thousands of Soviet-built T-55s, T-62s, and export-grade T-72s. On paper, the Iraqi armor was formidable. In practice, they were no match. The Abrams thermal imaging sights allowed American crews to fight at night and through dust storms. They could spot targets at distances beyond 2 miles and destroy them before Iraqi tanks even realized they were being engaged. One of the most famous encounters was the Battle of 73 Easting, where Abrams and Bradley crews destroyed hundreds of enemy vehicles in hours with minimal losses. Across the campaign, Abrams tanks recorded a kill ratio so lopsided that not a single one was lost to enemy tank fire. The myth of invincibility was born. The Abrams returned to combat in 2003 during the invasion of Iraq. Urban warfare introduced new dangers, insurgents with rocket-propelled grenades and powerful roadside bombs. Some Abrams were disabled or destroyed by improvised explosive devices. Yet with add-on reactive armor, slat cages, and urban survival kits, the Abrams adapted. Crews described the tank as a fortress, essential for pushing through hostile cities like Fallujah. In both wars, the Abrams demonstrated its defining trait: protection of its crew above all else. Even when damaged beyond repair, crews often walked away alive. Since its debut, over 10,000 Abrams tanks have been built. While many remain in U.S. service, others were exported to allies including Egypt, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Australia, and most recently Poland. Each export version was tailored to local needs, though the most advanced depleted uranium armor remains exclusive to American vehicles. Modernization has kept the Abrams relevant. The M1A2 SEP-2 and SEP-3 added critical battlefield network, improved electronics, and enhanced protection. The SEP-3, in particular, integrates new active protection systems that can detect and intercept incoming anti-tank missiles before they strike. A SEP-4 variant is under development, promising upgraded sensors, advanced optics, and even more sophisticated networking capabilities. The debate continues. In an era of drones, precision artillery, and cheap anti-tank missiles like the Javelin, some analysts question whether heavy tanks like the Abrams still have a role. Supporters argue that until something better emerges, no other system combines protection, firepower, and shock effect in quite the same way. The M1 Abrams is more than a tank. It is the product of Cold War urgency, revolutionary engineering, and decades of battlefield experience. From the rolling plains of Europe, to the deserts of Kuwait, to the streets of Iraq, it has proven itself time and again as a war machine built not only to fight, but to endure. A fortress of steel, a symbol of American power, and for now, the world's most indestructible tank.